Hello there, good morning, and welcome to the Good Morning Education Show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Rotimi Itayo, and I'm excited to be back here again. I hope you all had a great weekend, and I hope you had a great holiday. Yes, and in fact, the holiday continues today and tomorrow, I believe. And I think it's not out of place to say Merry Christmas and compliments of the season. And this is the Good Morning Education Show. We are here all through the week. For now, we're having our Mondays to Fridays, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. West African time, and we're always excited to be here. Excuse me. And of course, you know that your favorite education show is always here for you, and we'll try as much as possible to, share the day with you. Our show is going to talk about issues within and around the world of education. We are streaming from Lagos, Nigeria, to West Africa, to Africa, and the entire world. And it's always a great morning on the Good Morning Education Show. And this morning will not be different. We'll be having a special Good Morning Education Show today. We will start with our headlines as usual, and then we'll move over to, once we're done with our headlines, we'll move over to the topic of the day. And we will be starting with the education news. And please don't forget, you have opportunities to share your thoughts and comments with us. Please feel free to tell us what you think about the day. Good morning, Richmond Harbor. Thank you for joining. And if you don't mind, please also do tell us your location where you're streaming from or joining us from. Thank you all for joining and welcome to the Good Morning Education Show. We will be starting today's show, like I said, with an interesting headline. And this headline is coming from Punch newspaper, Punch NG. This is talking about a particular individual who says my achievement should inspire students wanting to give up Obaleye, a University of Ibadan first class graduate. Wow, that's fantastic. And this is something I like to hear about, I like to read about. Um, Obviously, from time to time we hear so many inspiring stories, and thankfully, we want to also ensure that stories like this coming from Nigeria should actually be shared with a lot of people. 23-year-old Anoluwapo Omoleye, who became deaf at 6, tells Alexander Okere how she bagged first class honors at the University of Ibadan, Oyo State, despite falling at the first hurdle. You recently graduated from University of, okay, so this was more or less uh, an interview, and then she gave a lot of insight to her experience, how she survived the difficulty and aspiration and all that. And to as many parents, this is something I believe is worthy of, you know, accolades and all. Yes. And would like to say from the Good Morning Education Show, congratulations to her, and wish her all the best in her endeavors. Yes, absolutely all the best. That takes us to our second headline. We're going straight to Ogun State. And from Ogun State, we have a headline that says 10 Ogun State schools get educational materials from firm. 10 Ogun State schools get education materials from firm. Of course, we know that education meant to be a collaborative thing, and we want to be able to appreciate this organization who has selected 10 public primary schools in Ogun State to donation of 450 furnitures, 11,000 exercise books, and food items from a Japanese company called Kawasho Foods in partnership with Ife Shoji. The executive chairman of the State Universal Board, Basic Education Board, Dr. Femi Majekodomi, who received the materials in Abeokuta, added that the yearly gesture would make learning more convenient for the pupils and encourage them to improve on their academic performances. The school that benefited from the company's gesture, according to him, are Obafemi Owode Local Government Primary School, Egbeda Oba African Church Primary School, Ayede Ifo, Yewa South Local Government Primary School, 2, Modeolu Ilaro Baptist Day School, 2, Imeko, St. James Anglican School, 1, Atikori, and Ijebu and Osun River Basin Development Authority Primary School. Others are St. James United Primary School, Mobalufon, St. Peter's Anglican Primary School, Isararemo, Baptist Primary School 2, Ijebu-Ife, and St. Paul African Church Primary School 1, Ayetoro. Majid Kodomi, who was represented by the permanent member of the board, Femi Odufowokon, said the donated furniture will improve learners' sitting convenience, while the exercise book will serve as writing materials for learners and improve their academic performances. Also, the geisha product will serve as a supplement to improve learners' diet, which will aid their physical development and promote healthy living. A representative of Kawashu's Food Corporation, Henry Agboifo, appreciated the people of Nigeria for continued patronage of their products, pledging to sustain its corporate social responsibility initiatives in schools. Well, another good one there, and we'd like to appreciate the school, the organization, and we believe that more will keep coming. Yes, that's our belief. That's our belief. Um, and I think that that's one of the major headline of focus today on the Good Morning Education Show. And we will be coming to our topic for the day. And we're saying today that um, let's let's look at two concepts and marry them into one. I know you've heard of Jack of all trade, master of none. You've also heard of stop thinking or putting yourself in a box. So today we're going to take Jack from all trades and we're going to put Jack in a box. We're going to think about Jack being in a box, considering Jack so almost like trying to tell us that Jack is a typical easy in the box. Being the we're grateful to God for life. We're grateful to God for everything. It's necessary for us to ask ourselves, have we placed ourselves in a box? Am I in a box? Are you in a box? And this box really before we get unraveled, before we get unwrapped, before we open up this box outwardly, it's important for us to take that decision. It's important for us to begin to liberate ourselves from any box that we've placed ourselves in, from any box that we've keyed or fixated ourselves into. It's very, very important that we take ourselves outside the box. And I believe that this is what this is all about, getting to take Jack out of the box. And I like to say this, that we work, we must be of that consciousness as around us. What exactly has been our limitation, and how have we mastered so much? I mean, how have we not mastered so much? Actually, that's what I should have said. But also, the box should not serve as a limitation, but the box should actually position us into mastery, so that as we are jack of all trades, as we have been able to come across many representations, as we have been able to come across all the other things that we've been able to do, we should come into a place where the box positions us as a place of mastery, a place of dominance. That's what I think should be the outcomes. So, so that's really what we are up and about today. Um, I know that a lot of us are within the holiday mode, so we're not going to take you on a roller coaster ride and talking all through. But I'll really be excited if we could have some of the people watching us today, if we could have you share with us, what are the things that you find challenging from the place of mastery, from the place of expertise, from the place of knowledge, from the place of resourcefulness and multitasking. It seems like it's not coming to fruition. I'd like to hear from you this morning. So please feel free to connect with me and let's hear your thoughts. I just send a message, tell us, and then we could also take up questions. If you have questions, please do not hesitate to ask your questions this morning on the show. This is the Good Morning Education Show, and we're excited you're here. I'm excited you're here, and would like to hear from you. If you have questions, please feel free. All right. So, um, another thing that we also need to consider is that um, when we approach, self-reflection, it must be with the intent of, first of all, being very objective. A lot of times people put judgment before objectivity, and that's sometimes what kills the process of reflection. That's what hinders the power of feedback. We must make up our mind to be very reflective, in an objective manner. The idea is you just have to be reflective. You want to see, how can you reposition yourself, your brand? How can you reposition your job, your industry in such a way that it can deliver much more than it is delivering to you? And for you to have that as an experience, then you must be an objective person. And objectivity opens us up to just looking at how things should be and then begin to pick them one after the other. And I'm glad that as we come to the last few days, you know, of the year 2021, this is 27th to be precise, we have just 4 days before we say goodbye to this year. I just want us to look at our lives and look at our path and look at the path we're planning to thread in the future and really put ourselves, just like Jack, in a box of deliberateness, in a box of total decision, in a box of total commitment, in a box of total focus, You know, that's really where this journey begins. Let me welcome Olushola Olumide.
Good morning, Rochimi. Good morning to our tribe members out there. It's nice being here this week once again. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining. So, we're talking about Jacks in the Box, and I'm sure, just like I did in the introduction, that it's a tale of two realities. Number one is we're all familiar with Jack of all trade and the same master of none. We're also familiar with uh, when you say don't put yourself in a box, don't limit yourself, don't think beyond the box. We are familiar with that. So the topic now is bringing the two realities into one, where for Jack to be master of one, he has to be in a box. So that's what we're talking about. The benefit of the box being a place of dominance and mastery, you know, so that Jack himself can get to the desired destination. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that, sir.
Thank you very much. Um, like you have said, reality of two things. If you look at it critically, the way we have been created or wired as human, we have different talent and giftedness, even as individuals. However, the issue of prioritizing matters a lot. The issue of being aware of your place of strength and working on that matters. Also, the need to put our giftedness on the scale of preference. I think trying to do many things at a times can be overwhelming. And when you are not really getting headway in any, it has a way of after much energy has been dissipated, it has a way of a sort of making the person depressed or discouraged. However, we need to know that we can do many things, only that there is need for trade-off. If you are starting out with writing, you pick that, have mastery. In the course of your writing, you will discover that, oh, I can even dance. Yes. Then you now think, okay, let me bring my dancing skill on board. Let me sharpen it. Let me increase. Let me improve it. Because as you begin to deploy yourself, there are skills within you you may not know are there, or you've not given time to, only for people to discover that the way you handle that thing, we could see this, we could see that, is a pointer that those things also needs to be developed. If you sit on the angle of well, I don't want to be jack of all, master of none, and you box yourself to one corner, and that is the only thing you are doing. And of course, you know that life intertwines. People who write, or you see them, they are also good in speaking, or somebody is able to do a particular, is a trainer, but he has issue with public speaking. Despite the fact that you have mastered your field, you have been able to carve out a niche for yourself, if you find it difficult to express yourself, it's going to be a minus. And in this time and age, soft skills are very important. Incidentally, they are not being taught in our regular school system. Talks about leadership, talks about interpersonal relationship, talk about public speaking, talk about emotional intelligence. These are things that garnishes your talent and refines you as individual and makes you to shine more. You won't say because I can't do many things at a time, I don't need those skills. You need them. You have to learn them. You have to develop them because as you go, they make your journey smoother and probably faster. It helps you to navigate different terrain as you go along in your life's journey. So prioritize, let there be focus, let there be scale of preference. Which one am I picking first? Make sure you train and learn and enjoy some level of mastery. As things unfold, your attention may be called on some other things. You need to learn that too. But don't put everything together at once and become so overwhelming. You are distracted, you don't even know which one to focus on part time. I think this is how I want to say. Jack cannot afford to stay in the one box. At the same time, while Jack is trying to master all, in order to be master of all, Jack needs to prioritize, needs focus, needs resilience, needs doggedness, and needs skill of preference to know which one to bring on board part time as Jack moves ahead, especially as we go ahead in the new year. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You mentioned something about the soft skill. Look at the demand, the impact, the value, and also the scarcity of it in most relationships. So the question now is it really are they really soft skills? Because when you think about it, we say it's a soft skill, and we find out that a lot of people are not acting intelligent with their emotions, and it's costing them a lot of results. Some people find it hard, even when they are willing, to show courtesy, to show integrity, things that you call soft skills. Are they really qualified to be soft skills? Are they not meant to be hard skills? Because they are hard to come, they are hard to master. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Well, maybe that is the terminology that be handed over. They talk to them about soft skill. Uh, well, that their soft skill does not in any way make them inferior to the hard skill. Yes, that their soft skill does not mean they are playing a sort of second fiddle. However, before this thing came on board, before we begin to mainstream them, what people focus on, oh, be an engineer, be an accountant, be a lawyer, be a doctor. In a way, those other things have been somehow carved out. They have been given templates, and there is a sort of a structure, and they have been institutionalized where people can go and learn them in a normal school setting. The other soft skill, I think people just pick them on the way due to, at times, the kind of background you have, the kind of people that trained you, the kind of culture you have from. It's like the the skill you garner from your parent or from your mentor, from the environment, not necessarily going to a structured school environment to learn them. Now, more and more, people begin to discover that even though those things are not structured in a school setting, we need them to go. You talk about courtesy. There have been people who lost their job because they are not courteous enough. And maybe we should begin to add them to art skills too, as we have said. They should be, of course, people are now being trained on emotional intelligence, on leadership, on relationship, on integrity, but not yet in our curriculum, so to say. And they can put it under civic or under moral instruction. And apart from that, organizations are now putting them under a sort of heading. Now they know it's not enough to be an engineer. You must know how to manage people. That it's not enough to say you are a lawyer. You need good interpersonal relationship. It's not enough to say you're a medical doctor. You need emotional intelligence. It's not enough to be a boss. You need to be able to bring your team together. How do you lead people? You want them to work, at the same time you want to preserve their humanity. These skills are very necessary, and it covers up for some of the shortcomings. That's why somebody will tell you that you may be the best employee, as long as you're having problem working together as a team, you're always having issue. They will rather offload you and get somebody who is not as skillful as you are, but can work together as a team. So We call it soft skill does not mean it is less important or it's playing a second fiddle. As you have said, the demand for it is on the increase. Incidentally, it is scarce. Not too many people have it, especially the younger generation that we are breeding. We don't know whether the people who taught them, whether society, whether it is the techie thing that has come, or maybe over the years, we are moving from a point of higher concentration when it comes to courtesy, respect, how to talk, emotional intelligence, moving from a place of higher concentration to the place of lower concentration. It's as if succeeding generation appear to be more sophisticated. However, each succeeding generation lack the resilience, lacks the consciousness of the previous generation. It's a pity, but we need to do something about it. If you are not going to lose out, if you are not going to all where our skill and talent has gathered, if you are not going to waste them by our ineptitude and lack of good behavior, we need to look inward and be more emotionally intelligent. Yes, your talent can make you to stand up. Your behavioral disorder will cause you to lose everything you have gained. You may attain a great height. Of course, there have been great men in time, in sports, in medicine, in law, in the natural sciences, who had been great. Only that some of them lack self-control and they have been stripped of their medals. Of course, we can mention many people down the years who are great, great fighters, great athletes, great footballers. Just at the moment of impulse, they couldn't control. Some of them misbehaved on the field of play. They are given red card. Some of them were stripped. I think was it many years? This guy Luis Suarez beat a fellow player in the air, and he has to be suspended because of anger. Yes, a great player, somebody who has done so much for his team, but because he couldn't control his anger, he had to beat another player in the air, and they sent him packing. They had to charge him. They had to go and be rehabilitated. That your skill is not enough. If you lack this soft skill we are talking about, your talent is not enough. Rather, when you cannot control your impulses, if you lack emotional intelligence, when you lack courtesy, all you have gathered over the years can be wasted in the moment of unbridled impulse. Thank you.
And I like to, bring it back, still using the connotation of today that if I say Jack in a box, right? And what if the box in this situation is a box that symbolizes focus? And so, because a lot of people also do not understand the real sense of it, because focus isn't just saying only one thing. Focus also stands for sequence, sequence of things. And I feel that that's quite important that people understand the sequence with which they do things or they should do things. You know, um, what do you have to say with that? Because it can mean that yes, you do one thing, but probably this is what you do out of all there are many things you will have to do, but this is the number one thing, and then this is the next thing. Being the box of focus. Over to you.
Thank you, Ruchimi. I think it's a great thing you brought on board now. Focus, talking about sequence. I think when people realize that focus talks about sequence, they will not get stuck. As I'm being focused. Some people are being focused connotes I'm doing one thing and they are not ready to do any other thing. Yes, focus is important. It salvages you from dissipated energy. It helps you to handle something well However, you need to know that a particular thing per time. I am focused. If I am driving now, I am focused because it takes my eye, it takes my mind to be focused. However, it doesn't mean I'll keep driving all my life. At another time, if I need to park and do some other thing, I can get that thing done. In fact, I may be in traffic and I need to buy something. Now, the traffic has helped me to reduce the speed with which I am moving. So I could pause. When the traffic moves, I move straight. I am hungry. I needed to buy a bottle of water or I needed to buy something. I refuse to buy it. Just because I say I am what? I am focused. Yes, you can be focused. You are driving. You can be listening to music too. So what people need to realize is this. Let there be a scale of preference. What do I want to do first? Okay, this is what like I said it here before. For me, I started out speaking, not writing, because of the opportunity that came my way and the platforms I had. Speaking was almost like part and parcel of my life. Almost every day, I have one speaking engagement or the other, and that helped me to sharpen that skill. But I wasn't a writer. And after sharpening the skill considerably, I felt I needed to write. I started writing. That brings to mind when I was in the north, I had these little kids I was teaching, and I told them I want them to be speaking English because mostly they speak a lot of Hausas and they are very good, even though they are many of them are not up to 10 years of age, but you can see the dexterity with which they speak. So I told them, now I want you to be speaking English. In this class, no Hausa. One of them, very sharp, Samuel, I can't forget him, a very, very brilliant boy. He looked at me and said, Malam, that is meaning teacher. I told them that we shouldn't be speaking Hausa in this class. We should be speaking. He said, but I am speaking English. That means I'm violating the rule. I now said, Sam, I have the right to speak Hausa. I have mastered English, speaking of English language to a point that if they wake me from his sleep, I can speak English. I don't know Hausa. So I want to have mastery in speaking Hausa. So that is what will help me to have mastery. You don't understand English yet. You have mastery in Hausa to some extent, and you want to learn the next language. So focus on the next language, which is English. For me, the next language is Hausa. He now smiled and laughed. Talking about focus now, you can see a kind of exchange we're having in that class. While I told them to focus on Hausa, English, I was focusing on Hausa because they have mastery in Hausa, but not in English. I have mastery in English, but not in Hausa. I needed to shift my focus from English to Hausa language. I needed to shift their own focus from Hausa to English language. You have had mastery of a particular thing. Why don't you move on to the next thing? That is the next thing in line. After I started writing, I now say, this is very good. And I started improving my writing skill, Meanwhile, in the course of speaking also helped me to improve my counseling skill. I could listen to a retinue of issue, then begin to deploy solution, counseling, then therapy. I remember talking to an associate prof who is in the Department of Psychology. While talking and showing her my book, he said, do you know, my brother, it's not every psychologist who is a lecturer who can deliver therapy. That sounded a little bit somehow. She explained and said, you know what? Somebody can teach this course, but when a counselee or somebody who is depressed, who is having trauma, who is having behavioral disorder comes to them one on one and says, sir, this is my challenge, this is my challenge, this is my challenge. It's not every lecturer who can deploy solution to that problem. I now said, this is, I understand. They will come to class and teach the theory. But when somebody comes and says, you know what, this is how I'm feeling, this is my situation, this is what I've been through, they may not be able to bring solution to bear. So counseling is a skill. In the course of speaking, people bring question. And as they bring that question, I'm able to give solution. Then I also discovered that, oh, that means I'm developing my counseling skill. It's not just to talk. Now, I started out by speaking. That speaking developed me in public speaking. It later developed my counseling skill. Later, I saw the need to write. And I put the speaking aside. I didn't cancel it. I have attained a level of mastery. Then I push it to the second or third row and push writing to the front row, and I started learning how to write. It doesn't mean, when I mean learning how to write, I have finished primary, secondary, and tertiary institution. But writing skill needs to be developed beyond listening to people and writing. I should be able to take my audience on a journey when I write. It's a skill I needed to learn and develop. So after that, then I'll look at it. What else do I need to do? Each one I'm having mastery in, I put it in my kitty. I archive it. It won't leave me. Then I think of another skill I need to pick. I think while we are focused, it shouldn't mean we should be stuck on a particular thing. But while we are focused on that, when we achieved the mastery, we think, oh, now I've achieved. Of course, it doesn't mean you want to play too and not develop that skill further. But there is a skill you have not even developed at all. Pay more attention to that one, develop it to the level where the first one is, archive it, pick another skill, you focus, you give that new skill more attention. We call it trade-off. Pay more attention to the new skill you want to pick. As you do, along the line, the one you have developed are there, you are using them once in a while, and you are developing a new one. And that's how to really be master of all, in all we have been gifted to do and achieve in life. Thank you. Hello, Rotimi.
Thank you. Sorry, I forgot I was on mute.
Yeah,
Thank you very much for that. I think we should dwell more on this trade-off. Right? Because sometimes we are all, most of us professionals, and most of us entrepreneurs, and especially within the education space, we have two indices that drive us. Number one, it is what we consider valuable in terms of trend and what we consider valuable in terms of commerce. In fact, I think that's the new definition of passion. So what we now talk about is not driven by the compass of money, from the sense of are we going to focus on something that we believe that can bring in the change in terms of money, or is it because it is what is prevalent in society? How do we really, do trade-off and we know that we are doing the right thing?
Thank you, Rotimi. Trade-off means giving up something for the other, or you call it the opportunity cost. When it comes to something is trending, we need to be very, very careful as individual, as educator, whoever, that something is trending does not make it satisfying. You must find your place in the scheme of things so that you are not running another man's race. One thing, of course, for me, circumstances pushes me to a lot of things that I do. Yes, and I can see, I tell people, I can see the hand of God using that to direct me to my life's task. That's why we should employ power of questioning. Not only when we are dealing with clients, we should ask ourselves pertinent questions, and we should be objective enough to provide answers. It will lead us to clarity. Ask pertinent questions. Something can be trendy and it's not satisfying. I tell you, something can be even bringing you money and it's not satisfying either. So you need to find out, what do I need to give up in order to gain something? Nobody has more than 24 hours, so we need to employ the issue of trade-off. I'm having something to do, I'm having a training coming ahead of me. Partly, I'll have to trade off some of my other activities, either sleeping, either reading some materials I needed to read. My routine had to change for the time being because I needed to prepare for the training at hand. And don't forget, while trying to prepare, I need to write, I need to research. After writing and all that, I'll have to put it into a PowerPoint. It takes time. And of course, you are a trainer for years. You know that at times, some of those material will take you days and weeks to be put together finally in readiness. And of course, when you get to the place of presentation, there are many things you didn't even put in the slide that begin to fall on you and you begin to download them. Yes. So I won't say this is my routine. And when I wake up, this is what I need to do. When I do this, I next thing. But there is a task at hand. That task must be given priority. So routine will change for that week so that I can meet my deadline. Once I meet my deadline, I return back to my routine. Now, when you are talking about something bringing money, it is good. Money is necessary. We all need it. But however, you need to develop yourself to a point where people can pay for what you have to offer. That's one. Number two, you need to push to a point where people know you offer that thing and they can pay for it. It's not enough to have value. When people don't even know you have the value, they won't even know you exist. They won't patronize you. You have a value, that value is what being paid for. One. Number two, that awareness that you have that value and you can deliver it also must be there. So as educators, because when you begin to run because something is trending, when that thing is no longer trending, you get stuck. When you begin to do a particular thing because it's bringing you money, when that thing no longer brings money, you get frustrated. But when you realize that this is my time, of course, at times you talk to people now, they are wondering, how did you know? How did you do that? How did you do that? I told a boy, was it last week or going to 2 weeks now? Okay, last week. I said, see, I've been counseling young people for the past 20 years. He looked at me and was like, really? I said, yes. He himself was not yet born that time. I said, so when I'm telling you something, I'm telling you from a knowledge point of view. And I've seen things like this repeatedly. And at times I even tell parents, it's not about your age. It's not about you having the capacity to batch the child. Do you have the knowledge to engage? A lot of parents keep fighting their children. Children keep fighting their parents. I said, you know what? It's because you have no superior argument to offer your children. That's why those children feel you want to destroy their life. Let that child sit down here. Let's question each other. By the time we question, we're able to clear the doubts. And the child will be made to think in a productive way, will tilt his mental machinery in a logical and a creative way. Then that child say, oh, I never saw it that way. All the anger would then go down. But nobody explained to the child before why they wanted him or her to do a particular thing. So the child feels infuriated. So it's not enough to say it's bringing money. Even if that thing is not bringing money, are you excited doing it? If it's your life task, you have to be excited doing it. And that's why in the education space now, not even before, not even now, many are not happy doing what they are doing. Number one, it was not because they wanted to do it, situation forced them into it, coupled with the fact that they are not being well remunerated, they don't do it anyhow. Meanwhile, there are people who started out not because they were looking for money, but because they felt they wanted to contribute. In the course of contributing, they started developing their skill. People started noticing them. They started giving value. The money started following them. But somebody woke up yesterday and said, I saw so and so. See how she's making waves. See how money following her up and down. See the way she's been invited up and down. Ask her how many milestones she has covered. Because if you think because she's making it, and that's where you want to jump into the field, you get frustrated. She has paid her dues over the years. She has paid the price over the year. Now people have come to see her as a solution, so they are willing to pay. Nobody knows you. How many free service have you offered? How many people have consulted you? How many solutions have you been able to deploy? What is your story over the years? So it's not about trending. It's not all about money alone. Have you developed yourself to a point where you become a solution? Have you seen that thing as your life task? Have you given up many things in order to develop this skill we are talking about? That is trade-off. There are many people who chose to be in the space they are in and they are making waves. They had better opportunity before, in coach now. They said, no, this is my life task. And they have given everything it takes. They have bought products. They have listened to great speakers. They have attended seminar conferences. They have developed so much. You only saw them when they started shining. You didn't know that the iceberg you are seeing has a route downward in the depth of the sea. Before you can bear fruit upward, you need to take root downward. Thank you very much.
Wow. It's not just clear that the part before. I think what's now left is sincerity of desire, not just sincerity of purpose. I think purpose is itself an assignment, and once people can actually have the sincere desire, because I feel that our desire most times is shaped intimidation and then is built on doubt. Most people don't look at what they want to do or what they have to do or what they've been raised up to do as the assignment in itself. In fact, most people look at what has happened to people on their own path and assignment, what is happening around, and the prevalent situation in their current environment and society. And once that happens, it means that you're going to alter your desire and dreams. And this is yet to end the year. This is the last Monday, 2021. I'd like to ask you this question. Um, what should we truly be afraid of, especially as we step into the new year?
Thank you very much, Rochimi, and I'm very grateful because you are bringing out some heavy stone. I tell you, which I think everybody needs to not only watch this, share it with people. Sincerity of desire. I'm coming back to answer the question. Sincerity of desire. We can't talk about purpose without desire. Unfortunately, when there is no sincerity of desire, people are saying they are looking for sincerity of purpose, they are going to get lost in the ocean of life. People talk about purpose. Incidentally, beneath every purpose is a desire. I can start running and say, oh, this is my purpose in life. If I don't question my desire, am I sure that is really my purpose? Is it not because that thing is bringing fame and money to people around me, like you have said? That's why suddenly that thing became my purpose overnight? Why do you think a lot of parents conflict with their children? I want you to be a doctor. It's because there's no sincerity of desire. They didn't question themselves. Why? Some of them, it was because they wanted to wear the badge of mama doctor, mama lawyer. And as long as they didn't query that desire thoroughly and jump ahead, this is the purpose for your life, this is what will be good for you, there will be trouble. Now, this year is ending in another 4 days time or 5. One of the things we should be most afraid of, for me, is doing the wrong thing. Not having clarity as to what you are meant to do. Because take it or leave it, January 1 will snowball into 2, into 3. Before we know it, January snowball into February, February into March, March into April. The orbit keeps rotating. Whether you do something about your life or you don't do anything about your life, the galaxies continues its work. And it doesn't wait for anybody. And before you know it, another birthday will ring. This is my another 365, 66 days have gone. Thank God, another birthday. Yes, you have another birthday. But is it really, have you been able to bat a day or bat anything worth celebrating? Birthday, it comes of its own volition as long as there is life anyway. But what should be more of concern to us is that as each day passes, each moment passing, am I birthing anything? You were somebody gave birth to you, that's why you are remembering you were born. Are you giving birth to anything in the course of your lifetime? I'm not talking of this biological, somebody married me, gave me, impregnated me, I get pregnant, I born baby. No, that's not what I'm saying. Dreams and ideas. Because it could be tantamount to waste of life when you begin to do the wrong thing. After 5, 10 years, you discover that that's not. For how long will somebody move from one thing to the other in the name of looking for purpose? So for me, I will help anybody who has not discovered himself or herself should start from that point of self-awareness, discover what you are meant to do. 2022 is here, and then loaded with a lot of opportunities, great and marvelous things. As great as those things are, it is not everybody that will explore and achieve them. It's not a cause. It's not even a prayer or prophecy. Just the way 2021 is coming to an end now, 2022, if there is life, will surely come to an end one day. But what you and I have done in the course of the year, so the greatest fear for me is running through the year, but in the wrong trajectory. But that will not be okay. And there's nothing we can do. The year 2022 will come. So I would advise, sit back. If you need to spend the first 1 month, even the first 2, 3 months, to discover what you are meant to do. You have been dissatisfied over the years. What do you need to do differently? Educator in that school you are not being well remunerated, the condition of service is not okay, you are not happy with your job. Are you doing something with your life that will make you more competitive so that you can move? Are you adding value to yourself so that in the year 2022 you become sought after? If you are not doing anything to better your lot, you'll be stuck in that same place you are, complaining all the year round, unsatisfied with life and happening. You have the key to open your own prison door and move ahead. I tell you, you and I, we have the key in our hand to do something differently. And it is said that it should be tantamount to foolishness to keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result. My shout out to educators out there, if you are not happy with where you are, please open your own prison door and go out. You can open that thing with knowledge, increase expertise and skill. Knowledge, that is what will help you to open your own door. And also, don't be satisfied with your present condition. Don't be satisfied with your present condition. No matter who you are, no matter what you have achieved, there is room to achieve more. There is room to become more. It's a great year, I tell you. It's going to be a very great year, 2022. However, it is only those who are ready that will enjoy the fruits of the year 2022. It's a year that will flow with manna, a year that will flow with honey and milk. I tell you, it takes nowhere the honeys are for you to pick them. Some people, the honey will be flowing right behind them like this. They will not know. So please, and finally, see every challenge as an opportunity to become better. Don't give up. Don't shirk responsibility. Don't dodge responsibility. Don't run away from challenges. It stretches you and helps you to become better. And that's how the year can be great. It's not enough to pray and receive prophecy. You have to step out. Use the key in your hand to unlock your own prison door. Open the box, enlarge the box. If the box is 2 by 2 now, we can make it 4 by 4. We can make it 6 by 6. Yet you are still in the box, and your own box can be 10 by 10. And the capacity of your box determines your capability. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for rhyming and rapping the end of the show, so to speak. It's been an interesting one. It's been an interesting one. Beyond the rhetoric, I believe that this should actually be that seed and fertilizer to some of the seed. You know, success is not mysterious. Neither is dream big meant to be mysterious. Um, we just need to take it a step at a time and be true to ourselves. Um, and as we step into 2022, what you should fear really should be you being afraid, you know, because there's nothing else you have to fear. Listening to all that we've said and listening to other people, what you should fear is when you allow fear to take the lead. Once you do that, you begin to feel immobilized in your decision and eventually immobilized in your action. I would like to thank Ursula Olumide for today joining us and adding color and flavor to the conversation. It's been a great one. Thank you so much. I'd like to thank
Thank you,
everyone
thank you,
who
thank
joined
you.
us, the math educator, the big and every other person who's joined us today. I would like to thank you for listening. I'd like to thank you for commenting. I'd like to thank you for keeping it in, and I believe that you would share this with others as well. And we will be back tomorrow, God willing, 28th of December, the last Tuesday of the year. So pretty much every day till Friday seems to be the last. So Wednesday will be the last Wednesday, Thursday will be the last Thursday, and Friday will be the last Friday of the year. And it's going to be a great time. And remember that we always have something that we say at the end of the show, which you should emulate, Um, we should emulate it. Someone is saying something from the math educator. Thank you, Mr. Olushola. That is deep message. We should always live to make impact. Use the key in your hand to unlock your book, which is more or less take yourself out of your prison and unlock the prison doors. They will come your way tomorrow. I will like us to say our parting word, our greeting at the count of two. One, two, go. It's
It's
always
always a great morning on the
on
Good
the Good Morning
Morning Education
Education Show.
Show.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.